Okay, fifth graders, there's your little moment of zen. How was that for a Monday, huh? All right, so what are we going to be learning? Look at that hair, huh? It's Sunday, and I'm recording this for you guys on Monday. So, good job on your quiz. I hope you all finish. I actually haven't even looked at it. I'm going to look at it right after I do this video. You had your quiz on dividing fractions last Friday, so I hope you did awesome. So let's start out with math on this Monday by finishing this saying. Start with a whole number. Yep, see? You could not say it in your mind. Start with a fraction. So now you guys know the trick to dividing fractions. We're going to do today is a little bit of geometry this week. Today we're going to classify triangles. Tomorrow classify quadrilaterals. Wednesday we are going to kick off coding and game design when I have you all in second rotation. And then Thursday we have a little bit of stuff before we head into spring break, next week. So we're going to start actually with a Think Central video again because I think it just does a really good job explaining and having all the pictures that you'll need and like the diagrams and images that you would need to be able to classify triangles. They do a good job explaining it. Then following that, we'll take a little bit of notes. And then there's a Kahoot to play on identifying triangles. Okay, that's what we got for math. And there's a workbook page also. So let's start by watching a Think Central video.
Let's see how you can classify triangles based on the lengths of their sides and measures of their angles. Let's unlock the problem. Let's explore how to classify triangles by the lengths of their sides. An equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides. An isosceles triangle has only 2 congruent sides. A scalene triangle has 0 congruent sides. Another way to classify triangles is by the
Okay, so I'm going to stop here and explain a little bit. Okay, first of all, an important vocabulary word for this week is congruent. To be congruent means exactly the same size and shape. So congruent sides mean sides that are the same. Okay, now the way I think about triangles, I think of them having a first and last name. Okay, like you all have a first and last name. Triangles have a first and last name. The first name is how you classify them or you put them into group by the name of their sides. And then their last name is by the name of their angles. So the sides, of course, are the sides here. And the angles will be the inside of the triangle. But if we're just talking about the outside and the sides, there's 3 different classifications. Now, these tally marks are important. You see how there's these lines here? There's one line, and one line. That means that it has 1, 2, 3 sides that are all the same. Okay? So this one has one line. Usually you'll see then 2 lines on this one to show you that it has 2 that are the same and 1 that's different. So if it has 2 sides that are the same, you also can see it by the measurement of the angles, 3 and 3. See, this one's 3, 3, 3. This one's only 3 and 3, but this one's different. So if it has 2, it's called isosceles. And if all the sides are different or it has no tally marks, then it's going to be scalene, which is always the weird one, okay? Now we're going to look at the angles, the inside of the triangle, and get its last name, okay? So watch.
Measures of their angles. A right triangle has 1 90-degree or right angle. An acute triangle has 3 acute angles. An obtuse triangle has 1 obtuse angle. What type of triangle is outlined in the pattern of Epcot Center's Spaceship Earth?
So
all sides of the triangle are congruent and all angles are acute.
So if you look at this is kind of hard to see, but all the sides are the same. So that would be equilateral. And all of the inside angles are acute or little angles. So therefore it is going to be a acute equilateral triangle. Acute equilateral triangle. I think they actually go, I think this is the first name and that's the last name. It doesn't really matter, but because you can reverse them. But it does have 2 names. That's kind of what I was getting at with the first and last name. Before they tell us the answer, though, there was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, angles. So let's review angles, especially since in 4th grade, by then you guys were in distance learning. I don't even know if you've ever talked about angles, okay? So an angle is where, you guys can see me, right? Oh, I think I can make myself big. Watch this. Whoa, right in the center? Okay, so look at my arm, right? So here's my arm. Yeah. All right, anyway, here's my arm. So where this part of my arm meets this part of my arm, okay, this part right here is called the angle. The corner of the corner, right, the sharp part is called the vertice or vertex. So the corners of the vertex, this is one line segment, this is another, they meet right here. This part is the angle, right? This can either be wide or skinny or whatever. You always start by judging it by what's called a right angle or 90 degrees. So if it looks like a perfect L or a backwards L, like straight over and straight up, that's 90 degrees. That's called a right angle. Okay, if this part gets bigger, see how it's getting wider? All the way down to a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. That's 90 degrees. They have measurements, okay? So if you go any bigger than 90, so any part in here that gets bigger, see how that's getting bigger? This part's getting like wider. That's called obtuse. And if you start at 90, anything less than 90, see how this part's getting skinnier as it closes? That's called acute. So again, 90, right angle, obtuse angle, acute angle. So why don't you guys try that? Why don't you show me an obtuse angle with your arm? So whether you're at home or with Miss Smith and Miss Lindsay, you should be going, this part should be bigger, obtuse, greater than 90. Show me a right angle. Perfectly up and down. Nice. How about an acute angle? Acute's going to be, this part's going to be skinny. All right. So with that said, if I go back to the small video here. So if you look over here, when you have to do the angles, what I always look for right away, and this is going to help you in the Kahoot, is if they're talking about angles, remember that's the inside, I always look for the right, like this symbol right here, where it has the perfect L, this little box. Because if it has the L, that wins. It automatically, it's called a right triangle. Okay? If all of the degrees in there are small, this one's kind of hard to see, but they are all small, then it's acute. If there's even one fat angle, even though it's got two skinny angles, if there's one fat angle, you get to call it obtuse. It like wins automatically. All right? So I think what they're going to say here is this is a acute equilateral triangle. Let's see.
The triangle in the pattern of Epcot Center's spaceship Earth is an equilateral acute triangle.
Oh, so they did do it like this. They did go first name, last name. All right, let's look at another one.
Let's classify a triangle by the lengths of its sides and measures of its angles.
Let's unlock the problem.
Let's unlock the problem. You can begin by measuring the length of each side of the triangle. The length of line segment AB is 7 centimeters. The length of line segment BC is 7 centimeters. The length of line segment AC is 12 centimeters. Notice that triangle
Two sides
ABC
are only the
has
same.
two congruent sides. What type of triangle has only two congruent sides?
So our choices, remember, for sides, I would put you back to the last slide, but then I'll make this slide start over. Our three choices are equilateral, all the same. Nope, they don't all look the same. Isosceles, which is a weird name, two the same, or scalene, even a weirder word meaning none the same. Well, there's two the same. So the sides, if we just talk about the sides, its first name would be isosceles.
An isosceles triangle. Next, let's classify the triangle based on the measures of its angles.
Okay, now they're going to look at the inside. They're going to give you some measurement angles. If I had to look at this, it looks like it does have a fat angle here, an obtuse angle. So I believe it's going to be called obtuse, but let's see.
Yeah. Angle ABC measures
greater than 90.
120 degrees. Angle BAC measures 30 degrees. Angle BCA measures 30 degrees. Triangle ABC has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees. What type of triangle has an angle measuring greater than 90 degrees? An obtuse triangle. So triangle ABC is an isosceles obtuse triangle.
You see what I'm talking about? First and last name. Sides, classified by the sides, isosceles. Classified by the angles, obtuse. Okay, let's take a look at one more slide.
Classify each triangle by the lengths of its sides and measures of its angles. Examine the triangle and select the appropriate classification.
All right, so you can pause it here and talk about it, or let's just figure this out. All right, so I see that by the sides of the first name, all the sides are the same. So therefore, it's equilateral, and then that's the only choice. We already know what it is. But if you look at all these are all skinny angles, so that's why it's acute, equilateral, acute.
That's right.
That's
this
right.
Is an equilateral acute triangle.
That's right.
Let's try another problem. How would you classify this triangle?
Uh-oh, no sides are the same, none. So that's the weird one, scalene. And then remember, whenever you see this little box, it means a right, plus it's a perfect L. Remember what we did with our arm? So that's scalene right.
That's right.
That's right.
This is a scalene right triangle. Let's try one more. How would you classify this triangle?
So look, this one only has two sides that are the same. They match, right? They only have one tally each. This one has no tallies, meaning it's different. So if it has two, remember it's either scalene, none, equilateral, all, or isosceles, only two. This is isosceles, and it's got a big angle greater than 90. See how this part's fat? So it's going to be a scalene obtuse. Boom.
That's not it.
Oh, I meant isosceles obtuse.
Triangles have two equal sides.
I meant isosceles obtuse.
One angle that is
not
larger
boom.
than 90 degrees. This is an isosceles obtuse triangle.
Boy, wow. Wow, Mr. Manfell, really. Okay, let's go take some really quick notes, and then we'll get you off to the Kahoot. And you also have a workbook page to do on classifying triangles tonight. It won't take you very long. So let's see if we can get out of this. I hope that didn't stop my... Oh boy, I don't even know if you guys are there still. I think you are. I think you're on... Oh, there you are. I think so. Are you still there? There you are. Okay. Very confusing. Sorry. So let me pull this back up. The camera. There's our fishies. We're going to move those away and take some quick notes. All right. I'm glad this is working. So let's go 3-column notes. Today I think is 329, at least when you're doing this, 21. And what are we doing? We're classifying triangles. So let's kind of like do it how they did it. I'm going to grab a different color here. We're going to do first name, last name, okay? So make a line down. Let's go. First name, last name, and then this is going to be the sides. Classify it by the sides. And this one is going to classify it by the angles, the inside, okay? All right, so our three choices are equilateral, isosceles, and I never know how to spell that. Yes, I am looking over there on how to spell it. Then I think it's isosceles, okay, and scalene. Okay, so this would be all sides equal, two sides equal, no sides equal. So let's draw one of these each. So first let's draw, I'm going to grab a green, let you get caught up. Okay. So we're going to go like this and put one tally on each of those to show they're all the same. We can also put a measurement. We have 3, 3, and 3. All right, let's draw a isosceles. Okay, so we're going to go line, line, because those two match. That one does not match. See, these are, it's showing that a tally, show these two are the same, but that one's different. So let's go with 5, 5, and 4. And then let's do a scalene, put no tallies on it, and put 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's label these quick, and then we'll go to the angles. So this one, remember, was equilateral, because they're all the same. This one's isosceles, and this one is scalene. All right, let's go for the angles now. For the angles, we have a right triangle. That one's going to have the little box in it. Then we have obtuse and acute. So if it has one right angle, it's 90 degrees, then it's going to be a right angle. If it has one angle that is greater than 90, even one angle that's greater than 90 is going to be obtuse. And this one, if they are all less than 90, then it's going to be called acute, okay? So let's draw one of each of these using our green. So we have a right triangle. How do I know? Because it's got a nice right angle there. Let's do an obtuse triangle. And let's do an acute triangle. So they look very similar. I think what we'll have here is some measurements. Let's go 120 degrees. And this one, we'll say these are all 60, 60, 60, 60. And this one has one that's 90, right? Sorry if that's too small, but you get the idea. So here we have right. We have obtuse. And we have acute. All right, so now teachers, you kind of, and kids at home. Well, kids at home, you can't really do the Kahoot, so sorry. So for the kids at home, you're probably going to want to go off to the workbook page now. That's attached to this video along with the video. And teachers, depending on how much time you have, you could do the workbook page together. I really don't mind if you do it in class and then do the Kahoot together or just go right to the Kahoot, okay? So I think that's all I have. I'm looking forward to Wednesday, you guys. We're going to kick off coding and game design, our second graduate school class, and just enjoy your minimum week and have a great week. Awkward silence.